decoys back.
Another morning and another beautiful day in the great British countryside. Today we're shooting pigeons on one of Steve's permissions, but before we get started we need to get set up.
Morning, the beast of the east is rolling in. And yesterday I walked up here and these double turnips on the top here was absolutely loaded with pigeons. There was thousands on here. We've just come up, we've flushed them all off. They've just disappeared over the ridge, but they've settled down again. So we're going to try and shoot some pigeons this morning. You know what pigeon shooting's like. It could go well, it could be a disaster, but that's the nature of the game. We're all very excited. Now we're going to get the decoys set up. I like to use two magnets when I'm decoying. I usually put one on the right and one on the left and then lay my pattern out in between. So normally we have the decoys facing into the wind, but like I say, there's no wind, so we're just going to jot them out in pretty much of a horseshoe, so the birds see the horseshoe and try and land at the front of it, hopefully. The hide is going to be at the back of the wood there. It's just starting to snow a little bit. We'll get set up as quick as we can. There's birds in the air. They've been trying to come around because this is exactly where they were feeding yesterday, so we'll get at it.
Pigeon shooting is as much an art as it is a science. Everyone has their own system, and it's fascinating to see how different people approach laying out their pattern. Most people also have very strong opinions about what's right and wrong, so you're never short of helpful advice. Using Steve's intimate knowledge of the area and experience of previous outings, we follow his tried and tested routine. To me, the hide feels a little exposed, but I'm happy to follow Steve's lead and do as I'm told for a change.
Okay, we're all set up, we're good to go, both in the hide. Also need now some pigeons. The sun keeps popping out, the wind's changing, swirling around us, so we've set the pattern up as best we think's okay, but what looks good to us, and pigeon can come over and here and think, oh my lord, what is that? But we'll give it a go, and hopefully we'll get a few on the ground. There's one coming in right now. And I missed it. Okay, because there's two of us shooting in the hide and it's always safety first, so we take it in turns. Therefore, I'm not jumping up in front of Ian, Ian's not jumping up in front of me. One's in, one's out, and that's the way it stays. There's nobody jumping up in front of anybody else. Safety first, always.
With our first birds down, I send out my trusty and obedient retriever to collect the fallen pigeons to add them to our pattern. Now he's back in the hide, we can get back to shooting. With a few more birds down, Steve sets out to retrieve them whilst I hold the fort. It may appear that I'm being a little lazy, but Steve is very particular when it comes to his pattern and doesn't want me messing things up. As Steve heads out again to collect more fallen birds, we can see a storm looming ominously on the horizon. We decide to move the hide into the edge of the forest to give us more cover, hopefully before the storm reaches us. We get to work rearranging the decoys, pattern and hide. As Steve rearranges the pattern, I work on repositioning the hide. Sometimes even small changes can make the difference between success and failure.
So we've had a tactical change of plan. We've moved the pattern a little bit. They seem to be committed, and at the last minute they were veering off. We've brought ourselves back in the wood because everything we've been shooting has been out in front anyway. So we've got a bit more cover for ourselves, and we've moved the pattern a little bit, and trial and error, we'll see how that one works out.
Now under the cover of the trees, more birds begin to approach.
Yay!
and we start to get back into our groove. Finally, the storm has reached us, and Steve puts on his Deerhunter mouflon winter jacket to fight the cold. With the strong wind and heavy snow showers, the shooting proves more difficult in the blizzard-like conditions. Despite the worsening weather, we begin to gain confidence in our shots, and our ratio improves. The Arctic conditions have transformed the landscape into a winter scene fit for a Christmas card. As the snowfall lifts, a window opens for Steve to collect the shot birds before they're lost in the snow. Who'd have thought such a bright and sunny morning would give way to this? I warm myself up with some soup while Steve demonstrates his amazing sheep herding abilities. His skills truly are limitless.
So I think it's safe to say this is not normal pigeon shooting weather.
No, I think it's taken a bit of a turn for the worse, hasn't it?
Well, it's been kind of 4 seasons in one day. First thing this morning, it was nice and frosty, nice crisp, bright sky, beautiful, setting out the decoys in the sunshine. I'm thinking maybe me Deerhunter mouflon was a bit hardcore.
Well, as it's turned out, it's been the perfect choice of clothing.
So we started off early on, got the pattern out, and the birds just didn't want it. Birds want to set their wings and land into the wind. I think they were just catching a glimpse of us from the right-hand side as they were coming through. So we moved back into the hedgerow here.
Yeah.
And since then, the birds have been coming in nicely to the pattern, but there just hasn't been the volume this afternoon after this.
I think everything that's been on the wing that's found somewhere to feed or taken shelter, so no, it's spoilt it a little bit, but there we are.
I would have to say it's been a beautiful day. We've had a lot more shots than we've had birds. Mainly that's down to, I don't know, maybe some reacclimatisation with the semi-autos, not been shooting those for a while. First pigeon day out of the season. But yeah, it's been great fun. I've really enjoyed it. I don't know how many birds we've got. Probably got about, well, I don't know, 20 odd down.
Yeah, I'd say about that, yeah.
Hopefully we're going to be able to find them in the snow.
Well, everything is turning white slowly. Well, very quickly now, actually.
But it's been a beautiful day. It's kind of carpeted white for us now. So I think the best thing we can do really is gather up these decoys, have a bit of a clear up, and then you can make me a coffee.
I think that's a very good idea.
But what a great day though, mate. Thanks.
No worries, mate. It's been good fun.
As we pack away our gear, the storm rolls in with a vengeance. It's not been a huge yield by any stretch of the imagination, but it's been great fun with great company. These are the days in which stories are created to be retold over a pint on a cold winter's day in front of a roaring fire. And in the wise words of the wild man, it's another day they can't take off us.